Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Lotus SMP. And a happy Sunday to everybody. I hope that you guys have all had a wonderful weekend. And I know I have. I just got back from the farmer's market, and it looks like the volume's on my second screen. I gotta turn that down, but I got back from the farmer's market today, and I saw all of the love that I ended up getting on yesterday's video. So if you've taken a look at it, thanks so much for doing so and taking a chance on this small guy. It has been a busy week, and it's going to be a busy week for me once again. It's very important to be intentional with my time, not only on stream tonight, but during the entire week in order to get another video out for you all. But if I'm being honest, this is going to be my hour or so of kind of getting to relax and do a little bit of self-care this Sunday night. We'll take a quick look at our brand new build before we really hop into the swing of things. But it is going to be the first week of school, and tomorrow is the first day of school, and I am a new teacher. And so you may imagine how much it's going to be the first week. And I still have work to do to prepare, not only tonight, but leading into tomorrow morning. So we definitely have a ton of things to do, but for right now, we're going to hang out. We're going to do a little bit of path building today, and I'll show you where in just a second or so. But right here, we have our brand new, wonderful build. We have Slip's Tavern. We have quartz in the item frames over here, and we can press the button. When I was trying to record the part for the video, I tried to press that button and record the okay, and here's the intro part 5 times, but the copper trapdoor or the copper door just ended up closing in my face 4 or 5 times doing it. But we have probably the best interior that I've ever done here. You'll see if you've watched yesterday's video, I did make a comment about the fact that we didn't have a brewing stand, but then Spidey came by last night, and he not only gave one brewing stand for this area right here, but we can also head up to the second floor, where we have, once again, a little bar area right here, and then a bit of a dining room table. And we actually have another brewing stand right here, thanks to him. So a big shout out to Spidey. I was not trying to go and look for another fortress, and he totally hooked it up. And we can head up to the attic right here, where you actually have to duck your head to go up. And I think that it really kind of fits the vibe of this entire tavern. And Etat actually ended up leaving a wonderful comment about the lore for this tavern that we're actually gonna go with. And the idea here is that this is kind of like a mom and pop tavern. And it makes sense, you have the attic that you have to kind of crawl to get up to, and it's a little bit more difficult. And then you have the dining room where you would have much more traditional family events and whatnot. And then you have much more of the common area where people would be served. And as a thank you, I'm actually going to, I think, have Spidey in an armor stand be a bartender right here. I'm not exactly sure where yet. Maybe we'll place him instead of this carrot right here. I haven't gotten to it. Obviously, it's been only a short period of time, but a huge thank you to him. This was the final look with the brewing stand, and it really does make to that tavern sort of feel, I think. But you could say that I'm a very, very happy man as we go out through our 2 tall flowers. We can head over to the trees right here and get a look. You only had one viewpoint from the thumbnail. I'm gonna do F1 real quick and just take a look at how this kingdom is coming together. And we got Indiana in stream tonight. Happy Sunday, along with Drift. Drift is, dude, I got 3 minutes through your video, and I'm so pumped for the rest of it. I loved how you started with kind of messing around and then got into the swing of things. But I haven't had time to finish it yet. I was actually thinking about that on the drive home today, because I'm looking forward to watching it. I was like, oh man, you have to make sacrifices. I was like, I need to get work done. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to watch Drift's video later on in the week. But thanks so much for popping in, and we got Cobb here too, which has been laying some infrastructure, I must have to say. And we have our mini... Oh! I don't know who did this, but it looks like someone ended up making the item frames invisible. And that looks just so much better. Thank you to whoever did that. But our plan for tonight, we're going to take our stone blocks. Of course, we're going to have to craft some of them up. Get rid of all of these trees right here, leading up to this area. We'll chop down these trees. And I got too ambitious, but I know that this week is going to be too draining. I wanted to put a lake in this area, but I really just don't have time for it. Okay, I was going to change the song, but it looks like it is changing anyway. And man, I just do have to say, this tavern, it's bringing it's bringing the entire area together. Can't you tell? I think that one thing that we are going to do real quick is that we're going to have to switch out our diamond axe. And I am curious, actually. One thing I've been doing with all of my diamond tools this season is that I'm placing them up. You can see that we already have 2 axes right there. Say, why not switch out that iron one and have a third one? We don't really need that. I'm just going to throw it in there for the moment. I don't really like having items in that house, but I'm sure I'll come around to it later. It's more important that we start a chopping. I actually had 10 minutes this morning before the farmer's market, and I was able to spend those 10 minutes solely chopping spruce trees. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a 10-minute window, so this is going to be the second round of tree felling for today. Yo, it's Pug! Hey man, happy Sunday. Thanks so much for popping into the stream. Definitely a cozy little hangout sesh. Thanks so much for spending a little bit of your time with me tonight. And it looks like Pug is actually hopping into the game as well. But yeah, after we do these tasks, the plan for this week's episode is do a little bit of infrastructure work around my base. I do have a build that I've already finished in build school and the creative world that I get the pleasure to build with a bunch of other awesome builders in Minecraft. And it's all good to go. I already have the schematic. And actually, if you guys want to see it, why don't I post it into the world right now? I'll chop down this tree. See, I'll chop down these trees, and then if someone reminds me, hopefully I don't forget. If you guys want to see what this upcoming week's build looks like, I'm really happy with it. It's a little bit smaller than how it than the tavern at least, but the detail is totally 100% still there. And as you may have guessed, it's very on par with the rest of the builds that we have here in my base in the Lotus SMP, and I want to give it a name. You know, the Hardcore Kingdom, its name was Lycos, which was from my favorite book series that I've been reading as of the last year or so. I'm on book 4 out of 5, and it's just fantastic, but this place has to have a name. It's very special to me. I really do love spending my time in here, and it's pretty rare actually that I take off shaders, although I have a gaming laptop and my computer would maybe appreciate it a little bit more from time to time if I wasn't recording replay mod cinematics and having shaders and streaming, you know, or recording and that sort of thing. But, you know, it's just, this place is so beautiful. And I was chopping trees this morning, and I was just looking at this kind of like horizon that we have right here. And for a second, I was like, maybe I was doing cinematics recently and I upped my render distance. Maybe it's a little bit longer right now. Like, oh my gosh, this place just looks so beautiful. And so, although I only had 10 minutes and I was being really efficient with how I was spending my time, I made sure to be like, is my render distance up too much? It's also good not to, destroy your computer when you don't need to. But just with my normal render distance, which is 10 blocks, this whole place, it's really ripe for some awesome building and some awesome terraforming and all of the decoration pieces that I really love to do. And I was talking with Inca Raids the other day. I mean, this conversation was actually maybe a month or so back. And he gave me a wonderful compliment about how I seem to have a completed build in most iterations. And what I mean by that is like, this place is ripe for expansion, but it also looks complete. And I do a lot of like terraforming and like mostly just like crops and plant and all I missed aesthetic work to get that done. And I really just do think that like, if there's something unique about the way that I play the game, and I don't know if that is because so many people play Minecraft, it's the most popular game in the world, but maybe with my own build style or anything like that, what I would encourage just to, make things look better as much as you can is to, with each iteration of a build, really try to have a final completed product as opposed to having things in tandem and in progress. And the reason I say that is because I feel like, at least as a content creator or like as someone that makes videos and then likes watching them back and seeing how the progression compounds on itself, I think it's really nice to be able to look at each iteration and be like, oh my gosh, this was base, step 1, or, the first look, base layout A or B or whatever it is. And so this is technically base layout D for me of however many iterations. If you can, jog your memory, and it's much easier for me because I'm the one making and doing all of this. But episode 1 was, man, I love how people can just sleep the night for you sometimes. But iteration 1 was just this, and then we expanded the hill and made the farmland right here. Or not episode 1, but in this area, I guess. And then the second to last episode was making the bridge and doing everything over here, right? And then our most recent iteration ends up transforming the sugarcane area into an awesome tavern. And I'll show you guys where I'm going to put the next build later too. But we are still so bad with the Elytra. We are still on the tree felling grinds. Although we're going to have to drop off our spruce. This is what I ended up collecting this morning. So, I mean, not a bad bounty, you could say. I mean, I don't need all of this stuff. I'll dirty up the inventory real quick. And I do have the book and quill. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer for next week's Q&A, just put it in. And look at that, we're already on page 57, which is wild. And I started it on July 12th, and here we are on August 18th. So we've been doing it for 6 weeks or so. And it's so cool being able to look at the date and seeing what everybody's different questions are and all that sort of thing. And so many other people in here that I really just, I look up to that have asked questions and that sort of thing. And of course, I don't think Cobb saw this or not, but I ended up putting Cobb, congrats on 1K from back when it happened. And so I guess Cobb ended up hitting 1K. We have the, historical record before my birthday, before the 25th. So yeah, this comment of the daybook may be the most important thing that I have personally in this world. It's something that I get so much enjoyment out of doing with you all. It's incredibly cathartic for me, and then there's a huge benefit from it as well. I think that, I do think that there's some value to be had in, I don't know. I think there's some value in it. And so, yeah, I'm proud of the videos that I've made. I think that the cinematic add-on has been a really good thing to do, and at the same time, it's been really wonderful to kind of give you guys sneak peeks as well, because if I ever run out of replay mod cinematics and the video is going on longer, then I've been giving you guys sneak peeks for a secret video that I've been working on, or if you've been following along, not so secret, but it's going to take a long time to get there and make it, especially with... Is it raining? Man. Especially with so many different competing obligations at the moment. And here we are, things are dark, the sun is obscured. And Flam's in here too! I was just thinking about you, dude, when I was opening the comment of the day book. Let me take a second to look at these comments. I wish I could do the tree felling thing and be able to look at stream chat at the same time. Eventually I'll have a setup where I can do that, but not yet. And hopefully YouTube will pay for that. That's kind of the idea, to, you know, get enough money to upgrade my setup and be like, I did this all through becoming like better at making videos and being able to provide value through them. But yeah, let me take a look here. A good old maintenance week. Yeah. Which is kind of out of pocket for me, Cobb, because I feel like every week is a maintenance week for you. just a prod, obviously. Cobb ended up helping Morg make the Red Rocket shop, which I actually didn't know until he told me. So a wonderful joint effort, and the amount of terraforming that Cobb has been doing over the past week, and so... But I know that Cobb is actually just about to really break ground. He actually already has kind of started to break ground on some incredible looking builds. And depending on how much time we have for stream tonight, actually, part of my plan, I wasn't sure if Cobb was going to be hanging out, but he did end up telling me that he does need some cyan terracotta. And so last night I ended up looking up how to get cyan terracotta. I guess you need cyan dye, and then I think maybe terracotta? I'm just turning down the render distance. I feel like all the vines from the jungle trees, the jungle tree maybe, is maybe impeding the performance a little bit at the moment. But who knows? I mean, thing number one, because this is all part of my intro right now, like, even right now you guys see that I got... the replay mod cinematic going on. I just lost my train of thought, man. Anyway, I need to get back to Flam too. How long are you streaming? Man, I keep just dodging the question. I'm sorry. I'm streaming probably for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half if we get to it, but I'm not sure. I do have to get set up in that sort of thing. I did know that I wanted to start taking down this ugly structure that I have right here, and then I want to get into path building, and the idea is to do as much path building that I can. But I don't know how long it's actually going to take. So that is part of the struggle here. Alright, I need to look at Flame. Oh, dude, thanks for the compliment, man. I appreciate it. I was kind of thinking about something along similar lines last night when I was in bed. And Spidey ended up coming over to my base last night, as I was kind of talking about at the beginning of stream. And he was very complimentary about how the base is looking. And I really do think that the tavern is really bringing everything together. Like, it's a... Man, it really is such a perfect addition to the base, and things are really coming together in a way that I couldn't do when I was in my hardcore world. I just hadn't been at a point of being good enough at the game almost. Okay. Dude, this thing needs to go. Okay, definitely not Ode approved as well. And I got a lot of compliments, and I think I did a really good job for where I was at with being able to work builds into the terrain in a way that is kind of harmoniously, and I definitely got really good at it, relatively speaking, for the last 2 episodes, episode 7 and 8 in the Hardcore Kingdom, and it was like I was so proud of it. But I think one thing, Spidey was being so complimentary, and I told him, I think that I told him I could never have made any of these builds before 3 months ago. Like it's really just putting in the time and the effort and the dedication. And sometimes you don't always have the time and space, and that's a really important thing to note. But for me personally, over the summer, I ended up having plenty of time to really delve into building a new skill set within building, within house design and that sort of thing. And I think I was able to take everything that I learned from the Hardcore Kingdom and apply it. Oh, man, didn't mean to do that. And apply it to this area that we have right here. And it wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't spent a lot of time building in creative mode and humming and hawing over builds. And not only that, but the however many hours it takes to do 1,000 days in hardcore Minecraft. I mean, it took all of that experience with strictly working on building in order to get to this point. And other people that are on Lotus know something that I think is kind of funny. Because one thing that you see really apparently from the get-go, at least when I started playing with other people, was that you can see that everyone has a particular skill set, whether it be building in a particular way, or with certain game knowledge, or the ability to progress in some different way than how you usually do. And everyone plays the game differently, which is really cool to see. But as a result of that, people like Cobb in particular are really good about setting up farms in order to make life easier down the road. And for me personally, I'm really bad at that. But what I'm really good at, I think, after spending all this time, is being able to make something that is really beautiful with each reiteration, but I don't really do a lot in order to make life easier for myself, maybe. Which I think can definitely burn you in the long run. And I'm just changing the song real quick. I like this. But I think it really can, it can be really beneficial to see other people's build styles and that sort of thing, because for me, Bob ended up coming over to the base. You guys maybe have seen it in the latest episode, and he showed me how to make a basalt generator after I had just spent a stream that many of you guys were able to hang out with me and where I went to the Nether, which is my least favorite place ever. Do not like going to the Nether one bit. And Cobb just ended up coming up. I went AFK for 5 minutes after stream. And then I came back to gamer life or whatnot. And oh man, I forgot. I'm sorry, y'all. The start of that song I've used many times. Well, the start of that song I've used many times, and then it just goes on in a folk melody that is way too bright and repetitive, and I just don't think that it matches my vibe in particular. Hey, Neatat's in here too. Dude, thanks so much for... I was telling everyone earlier on stream, and actually, why don't we take a look at it? Because I can't get enough, and because we're done with step 1 over here. Back to our tavern. Which Etat actually ended up giving a really, really good name, or a backstory towards. and we're gonna go with it here in the kingdom. So you can head inside right here to the interior of Slip's Tavern. And we have 3 separate floors. The first one here being kind of like a common area, you know, where people can hang out and have a little bit to eat and a little bit of some drink and whatnot. And then if we head up here, one thing that I really enjoyed making but wish that it had turned out a little bit different was this dining room table. And if we hop into Cheaty Cam right here, I think that you can really kind of get that vibe. Like, it's a dining room table, right? Except for in proportion to everything else that we have. It's definitely big. And if I had a little bit more time, I would have maybe come around and try to do a different design, but I really just kind of liked how this came out. I designed it in creative mode, and then I placed it into this place later. And you know, sometimes you have to be okay with where you're at in the game. And I was like, okay, I'm happy with this dining room table. It's enough, and definitely the kind of like back end that we have with the banners that, you know, that maybe they stick through a little bit, but they really add an extra detail to the chair look that is unique, and I really like it. And so if we also head up here to the attic, one thing you'll notice is that you can't actually get through if you have your head like this. And so you have to duck your head in order to get into the attic. And I actually really do like that part. I've done it before in other builds. It really gives a nice, quaint, cozy vibe to the build. And I say, why don't we just fix that up? There was nothing out of place there, I promise you. But then Etat ended up making a wonderful comment on yesterday's video. And he was like, you know what? I actually really love the second floor with the dining room table. And another thing, my favorite part maybe about the entire build itself is we have a little bit of like a storage crane sort of thing with a chain, of course. And these are supposed to be packages of brew where they would come up. And the idea is that, man, is that the workers, I guess Spidey only at the moment, and maybe I'll put another mob head of someone trying to get some inventory, or maybe Cobble leave himself working over here, whatever it be, right? But the idea, since it's such a nice idea of the attic and how cozy it is, that the workers can come out here and it's kind of a nice, beautiful lookout into the water and whatnot. And, you know, they're loading the inventory up. And so Etat ended up saying, you know what if you had the idea of it being a mom and pop shop or tavern, you know, kind of family owned, but it's always packed because this place has the best food and the best drink around town. And that gives, you know, it has a nice cozy atmosphere to it. It's, you know, almost like that really nice hole in the wall that spreads through word of mouth and that sort of thing. And for special events and for the family itself, you can have this table right here. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a wonderful idea. And it leads up into the, you know, you kind of have someone coming through with the inventory and whatnot. And this is a little bit more family reserved or for special events. And then you have the attic, and this is the main area where everyone gets to hang out. And so I'm actually going to evolve on that lore. And I'm really excited for it. And I think the best way for me to show you all is maybe to open up our Lightmatica. I say, why don't we put it into the world, huh? Take a look at it together. I forget what I called it. Something Lotus. Lotus Cozy House. I think that's a, let's see, load schematic. Here we are. Okay. We'll bring it out this way. I'm very excited about this. As soon as I posted the video on Saturday, I hopped right into build school and I started making this. And you'll have to forgive the black concrete on the ground of the build, at least. Of course, that won't be a part of it, actually, and this is the back side of the build. Maybe, why don't we put it over to the FFC, which actually, this is part of our intro. We're also going to be breaking down the FFC, because Cobb and I have some really fun, interesting plans. And we can fly over, fly over in this direction. I love flying through these houses for whatever reason. It is just so satisfying to me. And that's going to be our next build. Of course, it's a little bit more difficult to see with the blue outline right here, but why don't I keep it like that for a second? Not too bad, I think. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. The idea here, you actually can't see it with all these too tall flowers, and again, that leads into why don't you just finish finish up your base as much as you can for whatever iteration. But this ugly area right here, I'm going to end up taking some dirt, and we're going to take out the trees right here, and we're also going to do just a little bit of path building and cut through into here. So that build that you see is going to sit right in this area. You can see that I'm really trying to build pretty closely together. It's something that I didn't do in the Hardcore Kingdom, and I really like when people build like that. And I'm squeezing as much detail into the area as much as I can before I expand. I know there was a huge path expansion over to Cobb's base over there, but that will be continued to work on a little bit by little bit. But the idea for this area over here is just to work slowly but surely. But I say, why don't we put away our materials? I have a bunch of random stuff in here. And our book and quill once again, the best thing. Why don't we put it actually into our ender chest, because it's just about time to get to start path building. I have such bad inventory management. We can take out our diamond shovel here, and we're gonna need our axe as well. Oh my gosh. I don't know if anyone saw that. I almost broke the ender chest. Oh my gosh. Cobb, it's been 2 weeks. Let's go. Everyone thought that I was going to break my ender chest the first week, and we're 2 weeks on with the same pickaxe, Rico Suave, which is the nickname for one of my buddies at work. Let me grab a quick sip of water and look at chat before we hop into another little bit of building here. Yeah, Mini Cobb carrying a package going into the attic would be so funny. Oh, and Indiana, thanks so much. Yeah, I hope that I get into MCC Rising. I don't know anything about it. And if I'm being honest, it would either be a really funny experience or a really not funny experience, because I have no knowledge and experience with mini games in Minecraft at all. So I'm not maybe the best person you want on your team, but I'd also provide a really funny time. So I don't know if that's what the people want. But I think that I'd bring some really funny content of me having no idea and finagling with MCC Rising, with having never watched a single MCC Rising and knowing absolutely nothing about it. It'd be interesting, and we do have that replay mod cinematic going as well. Of course, we gotta start to clear out this area, and man, I really do wish that we had time to build a lake. My idea last Sunday, I think, if I had time, I was gonna do it, was that I was gonna have a couple people, and we only have a couple people on right now. Me and Pug are really the only two people that are online. But I was gonna have people come over to the base on tonight, Sunday, and then we were all gonna have a 45-minute timer to see how good of a lake we could build in the area where these trees are over here. And I was really excited for it all week, but it really does kind of seem like this week is one of those weeks where, or this past week, and definitely leading into this upcoming week as well, one of those weeks where there just really isn't too much time. Which, it is what it is, you know, and the lake will come over time, and man, that clears up the area. Wow. Man. Oh, there's a lot of space here. Okay. I'm gonna scratch my original plan here. Okay. This might not all happen today, but, and I'm probably doing more than I should. Okay. Maybe another build goes here eventually. I mean, this is a nice big space. Why don't I make this indent into a lake? That's a little bit easier, and then I can actually wind the path right along here. And then it can lead into this build area. I kind of like that idea. So quick change of plans then. That's fine with me. Oh, cool. My base just got so much bigger. That's... I don't know if I don't think I placed any birch trees here in order to kind of cover up this area. I kind of think I left it as it was, but... Okay, man. I'm very excited about that, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I like to decorate every square meter. Like, that's going to be a little bit difficult. Okay, cool. Why don't we take some stuff out of our inventory real quick, and then I guess we're gonna add a little bit more dirt around this area, but at first I'm just gonna start off here, and we'll get to clearing out the grass, and you can see that this area has been heavily bone mealed, of course, as I like to do it. But as you can tell, you know, I really try not to change the land as much as I can. And it really kind of lends into like an organic feeling for the land, I really think. And I think the best case example of that in particular are the crop fields that I have right here. I really didn't do much to change around this land right here, and I don't really do much to add in extra details to my wheat fields in particular, but I always make them random and terraced. You'll never see me do like a horizontal or vertical. Must be a cave down there. I didn't really realize that. But I think, actually, you know, maybe that'll probably change. Because Cobb is kind of inspiring me to want to make a city at some point. And I think that you can't have things as so kind of like lush and smooth and curving into each other. Part of what lends into a city is a little bit of that grid structure too. You know what I mean? But for now, I just wanted to make sure I had the replay mod cinematic going. We're just gonna, you know, kind of just randomly make sure that got a little bit of character, you know, maybe we can leave that right there, and we'll be able to place a couple plants in. Just keep it 2 wide right there, and then we can break down a little bit into 3 and keep a little area so that we can have 2 flowers right there. Letting into that, like, once again, lush idea. And as you can see, and this might make some of my path building cinematics that you've seen a little bit more understandable. The best way for me to get an idea of the terrain is to line it up with, you know, with the shovel first, and then I do everything from there and kind of just take out 1 block at a time. I'm just gonna down the render distance a little bit more. Maybe part of the problem, y'all, is that it's actually 96 degrees out where I live, and I haven't had AC in the last 3 months. So I'm very used to it now. Of course, it's no fun whatsoever. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Okay, I think we can work that. But I've had no AC, so it's been a lot. But you know, when you have a lot running on your computer, and it's 96 degrees and there isn't much to cool it off, I think that can be difficult too, right? Okay, and so I'm okay with that at the moment. But I don't have any dirt, which means, and you can see this is gonna, we have a lake right here, and then we can add some extra texture around there. Boom. The whole, I mean, and you just step back, like, this place is gonna look awesome. I think I picked a really good spot, for me personally, to build everything in. And the funniest thing about it for me, honestly, the funniest thing about it for me, okay, is the fact that no one has recognized that I am building in a birch forest. Come on, y'all. Like, not a single comment, like, I think that I've made the, like, I think I'm really happy with this place, obviously, and shaders make all the difference, but like, everything coming together, like, I actually wouldn't want a different color tree. I really like the white tree, and I think that's part of the reason, and I love, you know, the quartz and diorite and iron blocks that we have going down there for that texture. And so, oh, I need dirt. That's what I was doing. Draconis! And so, the birch forest, man, come on. People don't give enough love to birch, you know? give some love to the birch logs, and I'm definitely gonna take like bars at some point and make sure that I try my best to make an organic, my own custom birch tree design, and maybe try to spice up this forest area around the base too. That's, I mean, a very, very long ways off, but it's within the cards. Along with, hopefully, man, I'm trying to find and make maybe a little bit more useful storage system. I mean, everything definitely is organized here, and everything looks really pretty. But just to get some dirt, right? I just had to go up to the top floor. Which takes so much time to do. And so now what we're gonna do is, we're actually, why don't we start to fill in this area a little bit. Make it a little bit more oat approved. Not too much rhyme or reason, and this will kind of start to consolidate the lake area as well. One thing I do like to try to do, if I can, like this is a little bit too straight for me there. So I'll come in, maybe come in a little bit more. Maybe come in a little bit more. And you don't need too much with it, and if I wanted to exaggerate it, which I think I might, just make a little bit, you know, just one extra curve in there. And look at that, I mean, that really starts to make an immediate difference here. Maybe push that in. And again, you know, it's just a little bit, I think we'll actually bring out these two blocks just like that. And then I think we might have to get rid of this lantern right here. Bring that out, bring out that as well. Maybe this one more, and that too. And that kind of, you know, slopes in the terrain a little bit more and gives us a little bit more to work with as well. So I think that's a really great first iteration for what the lake is going to look like. And then we can also come in here a little bit and kind of just give this area a little bit more love. I think I'm actually okay with keeping it like that. We can have just like two stone slabs coming in through there. But we might want to spread this out just a little bit more. Make it a little bit more even looking too. And then actually this terrain right here, I feel like I could have smoothed it out at a later point in time. This looks too smooth almost for me. And no problem with the BRB bug. But we can head in through just like this and continue on. Start back. Ooh, a little bit too much right there. And just continue in this direction, and we'll probably leave the path right here for the moment. So I still haven't figured out exactly what it is that I want to do here. So for at least at this point in time, I think that this area right here will be a great start. I think that we also just need to do a little bit more there. And then we can also, I wanted to go one more out here too. And see, as you can tell, I mean, it doesn't do too much. I actually might leave these dirt pieces like that and put flowers there. We'll leave that for a future point in time. But yeah, that looks like it could be okay. I think maybe, yeah, just those two. And we have something that looks pretty smooth here. so hard to stop. I think that might be nice too, but then we'll have to come in here. I'm okay with that. Okay. So I'm gonna stop that recording, and I'm gonna start a new one. This is kind of behind the scenes of how I like to do it, so I can capture different viewpoints and that sort of thing. And look at how good this place looks. Okay, let me... I'm probably the biggest fan of my place. That's so crazy. I'm just gonna grab a quick sip of water and say hi to everyone that's in stream real quick. Yeah, Ethan, I think that Capri, Italy is a great place for inspiration, and thanks for saying that. I'm gonna check it out. I've just been going a little bit with my, a little bit on the whim with this one. Now I'm in free cam. Yeah. I don't know exactly what the inspiration is, but I think it has a lot of similarities with Capri. So I agree with you. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to the 90-degree heat by now. And no, Cobb, I think that you're very good about working with the land. That was something that I was very impressed with when I ended up seeing the terraforming that you ended up doing with Morgsveld. But I do think that, there's also something to be said about... Okay, I was just reading chat real quick. I think that there's also something to be said about having a different sort of build theme and inspiration. Like, not everything has to look as like this. There's a lot more order. I'm not going to show anything else. There's a lot of beauty and order. And so you're, definitely inspiring me to build in that sort of build style too, and to challenge myself as well, because I think that this is probably easier sometimes too, or at least it is for me. Yeah, we're gonna start just a little bit. And I don't do too much. I do a lot of diagonals. It really lends into this path design. Every once in a while I will go to like that, but then I usually follow it up by another diagonal. And I just try to kind of keep an even spacing a little bit. Just kind of mix and match, mix and mash. I think we'll go like that, you see? Every once in a while when I go horizontal, I'll just do another diagonal and that sort of thing. And kind of work our way up here, another diagonal just like that, as you can see. And you're also going to notice that this really is not as time consuming as a lot of people, I think, might work it up to be in their heads. One thing that I saw, I forget in whose video, And honestly, I really do want to say it's ETAT's video. But there's something that really changes your entire build when a path is in it. And a major reason for why my build, or my place, I think fits into everything is the path design. And it doesn't take much. As you can see, I'm just kind of coming in, and then we're going to grab our first block. I always use the same first block when it comes to doing path building, at least with this particular stone path design, which is not my own. Let me get that clear. It's already coming together, y'all. This is not my own path design, but I can come in, and it's really not that resource intensive too. Actually, just break a couple more blocks here too. And if you come in with cobblestone, I think that it really gives a nice kind of foundation for everything else, that all the other blocks that you want to place in. And I think the reason for that is it's kind of, at least within this design that I'm using, it's the most like textured. You know, it's a very complicated, very noisy design, right? It's not smooth or anything like that. And so I think that, now we'll leave that. I think that placing that in kind of gives you a guidelines of like, okay, you don't want to go too noisy and then have to bring it back. It's a lot easier. Okay, I think we'll... Yeah, okay, we're just going to go with blocks for the moment. Just kidding. You're going to see this will work. It might not seem like it, but if you just kind of lean into using slabs on a kind of linear terrain like that, then it really works. But cobblestone is just a really wonderful, noisy stutter block. You can see that it already makes a huge change to the area. I'm going to make a new cinematic now that we have a new block. Also part of the build and kind of creative process for me. And then I'm going to come in with andesite. From here on, I mean, it doesn't matter to me too much which particular block I end up using. On the edges, you always have to use a full block, although you definitely save a lot with slabs. Take out our shovel once again to be a little bit more efficient here. But it doesn't really matter, I think, as long as you kind of just have a little bit of intentionality. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of brain power, as you can see, to kind of just do some randomness here, but there's still a little bit of intentionality, and as long as you end up placing that first block down with a noisy way, everything gets a lot easier. I think that will go two like that, and then another one here. And occasionally you'll waste a slab, but you can see, I mean, I'm not even using a full stack of slabs in order to do this. It really does not take a long time. And I think that it's really important also to, you know, use the materials that you've built with. That was one of the biggest things that I kind of learned from the Hardcore Kingdom. I spent so much time collecting materials, and then I wasn't really that intentional with them. And I was all about the grind and felt like I was being productive, but to what end, and you know, in particular. And so now, you know, in particular, I have tons of different paths that are going on the server. You have this one over here, and then we have that long one coming over here. I don't think anything's going on over there, but also this entire pathway on the Happy Camper Island is also for me as well. And I think that it's because oftentimes we have these blocks, and then the season can go by, and then you don't really use them. And if I do end up running out of blocks, I'm just going to buy them off Cobb. I think that one thing that's really nice about playing on a server... Actually, let us go into our stone cutter real quick, and I think it's just about time to bring in a little bit of some mossy stone bricks. Kind of just what I'm feeling at the moment. Make ourselves a crafting table with that wonderful birch wood. Then we can head in here, we'll make our mossy stone bricks, and then I instantly head into the stone cutter. And I just cut these guys down into some stone. We have 2 stacks right there. And you're going to notice it really doesn't take too much. We'll go here. And one thing about the mossy bricks and in particular, or just the mossy cobblestone as well, you don't have to, but it can be nice to kind of keep them a little bit by where the grass is. It leads into a little bit of extra just detail and story to it. Kind of looks like the grass is kind of creeping into the cobblestone, right? And makes it look like it's been lived in, as opposed to pitch perfect and crystal clear and whatnot. And look at this. Boom, boom. It makes, as you can tell already, the addition of the mossy, and we're going to be using mossy cobblestone as well, it really just makes all the difference. And let's see how many blocks this actually takes, because I have to get rid of that guy right there, because it really is not a lot. And actually, I'd like to know, how do you guys like hearing my thought process? I'm really starting, maybe this is the second time that I've really started to explain how I think about what I'm doing when I'm making these things. And it took not even 25 blocks. That's crazy. And for years, I used to be way too shy to do it. I was like, oh, I could never really do the building off camera and that sort of thing. But here I am. And I'd love to know if you guys find it useful or helpful in any sort of way. We're gonna head in here once again, take out those stone bricks, and then I think we'll do another replay mod cinematic. Oh, man, whenever this song comes on, I'm like, ooh, it's a good vibe. I used it's almost a little bit too upbeat for some of the cinematics that I've been doing in Lotus, but I'm being honest. Oh, let me use a shovel. Actually think about what I'm doing here for a second, you know? Yeah. I lost my train of thought again, man. But as you can see, I mean, it's going to come up in little patches and whatnot. We are going to have to come in here. I always forget about that part. And we're going to have to do a little bit more work. But what this is going to do, me having to figure it out a little bit like this, leads into a very, very organic, into the terrain, almost, I don't know, just so real life. Let me put in this next, into the stone brick slabs, and then I'll show you all what I'm talking about. I think it's probably a little bit easier to give a visual demonstration. And I didn't really think about it. I kind of just did it. But then I got a compliment on it last week. And so I was like, oh wait, you know what? Like that is why, that's the reason. I think that this is... Yep, we had to do that. Yeah, and again, it's always a little bit of humming and hawing as well, right? Just trying to figure out exactly what sort of shape that you want here. Okay, yeah, just like that. We're really getting places. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm just looking at chat. I see something about the path patrol. Wait. One thing I always like to do, I try to do as much as I can when I think about it. Let me stand here. You guys can take a quick look while I read the chat. Yeah, paths are definitely a game changer. And yeah, I feel like, Drift, I feel like I actually did kind of take on the, you can count on me for the pathways. No problem. It's so cathartic for me to do. If people are okay with this design of path in particular, might cost a couple of diamonds if I was to switch up, because it takes getting all the materials and whatnot. And this is, as I was talking about, a little bit lower input, because it's stone and andesite and stuff that you wouldn't usually use as much unless you're building super medieval. But I'm lucking out. I'm not building anything medieval, right? I'm using a silly expensive block palette. Quartz and diorite and copper, tons of copper, jungle, all the trapdoors in the world, dark oak, mangrove buttons on the roof, spruce for the roof. Whew. Bricks for the roof. Oh, it is an expensive block palette. So as a result, all of the extra blocks that I have here really do. I'm not using the rest of them, right? So it's totally okay. Let me fly on over. And I'll show you guys what I was talking about. Of course, cinematic style. I haven't finished reading chat. Okay, but this area right here, I think I did really well. And then I have another series, Hardcore Season 4, that no one's seen except for members, where I did I did this times 10, and I think that's probably where I learned how to do this. But in this area over here, you can see, actually, let me walk over to show you. In this area over here, you can almost kind of tell that I cut into the terrain in order to extend the path out here like this. And that's okay, because if we go into Cheaty Cam, it totally makes this part of the area look really good, in my personal opinion. I think, and it was just a lot easier. Wait, I'm still in Cheaty Cam. But if we head over here, over to our bridge area, man, this place is just so pretty. We still need to put a tower over here too. But this path right here, as it leads up, it is not nearly as organic, and you can see you almost get stopped a little bit, and it kind of slopes down, but also makes its way up, and a great perspective of it is right here. And that's kind of what we're doing on the path right now with the slabs. And it's not the most functional in the world, but when you're in game, and if you're just walking around, like, you can see the up and down. It's because it's not supposed to be a cakewalk, right? Like, you're supposed to kind of have to step up and down, and it's a little bit more worked in with the terrain and that sort of thing. And so that's what we're going with this one. But now it's almost time to put down the final couple blocks, and look how it's... Ooh, and it just connects with every... No! It really just connects with everything. And one of my favorite things about doing this build design in particular is that you only need one block in your inventory at a time. If I was building this for a very long time, then I wouldn't need all the other blocks. I would just start off with a bunch of andesite and that sort of thing. Which, did I use andesite? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's take out our vines. We can head back into our crafting table right here. Actually, wait. Crafting table right here. Make our mossy cobblestone. This is going to make a massive, massive change. And then for our last block, after this, we'll end up coming in with stone. And it'll finish off the area. Okay. And let me just look at chat one more time. Hey, cool. Okay, it's really good to know that the thought process can be helpful. I don't really feel like I build like everyone else. And maybe that's a statement that's kind of in vain. Oh, and one thing about the mossy cobblestone is that I'm also going to place it kind of next, even on a diagonal right here, to the mossy stone bricks. And the reason for that, it leads the greenery into the area in a way that's kind of organic. For me, given the fact that the entirety of the rest of the path design, and we can place it in right there too, kind of works into the corner as you're kind of seeping in. But given, especially after we place the last blocks down too, given the fact that for the most part, a lot of the designs that I'm using, we have the occasional match up horizontally or vertically, but a lot of things are on a diagonal right here, as you can see too. Actually, let's start to come in through here too. get a little bit of extra accent in, but it really kind of helps blend in this sort of diagonal-ish way, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, at least. Okay, and so we'll take a look down here, and then you can see such a nice transition that we have with the mossy stone bricks into the cobblestone, and then the cobblestone into the mossy cobblestone. Wasted a block right there, but that's more than okay. And I think we'll do another one right here. Another guy right there. And just like that, we're almost on to our last block here. Take out that stone. Gotta put it into slabs. Okay, we can do that. Okay. And we're doing pretty good timing as well. One thing that was definitely very representative of the past week of my life was that I thought that what I was creating was not going to take that much time. And we're really just going to super dabble in here. But the good thing is, this is actually working out. So last week I ended up starting the week, as much as I tried to prepare, behind schedule. And I worked so hard to get that video out. Some of you guys know that I've actually put in a 23-hour workday on Friday night in order to get that video out. So definitely pushed it a little bit. It'll actually come out right here. And what a nice transition that is. I feel like the more you do this, the more you just get intuitive, and I could be a faster builder and just place things down left and right and that sort of thing, but I'm just not there yet. But we already used our mossy cobble. We're gonna have to come in with another block right here. As you can see, this is the most technical part of the pathway, but I have no problem doing it. And I'll show you my way through it as well. Well, actually, why don't we take, since we have a little bit of inventory space and we can clear all this stuff out real quick, we can come in, and this is where you want to kind of just dabble around. We can have some cobblestone right there. Come in with the andesite here. Do another andesite right there. I think I'm okay with that at the moment. Another one right here. And then you'll see... Let's do another mossy brick. Yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna come in... Yeah, let's do another andesite right there. Another 2 right there, I think. Okay. And so here is where you start to kind of work it, alright? So you want to come in with the same slabs where you can, and what we're going to do is kind of extend the path as much as we can while keeping it as organic as possible. And so you might lose a little bit of effort right here, but now you can see that this is kind of going to come up like that. And then we'll actually take that out. And if possible, we're going to have to place another guy down like that. And we're going to do, I think, the same thing here too. And once again, yeah, you do kind of have to go with the same slab sort of thing. But then you kind of just work it a little bit and you're like, okay, and then this is going to need one of these maybe. You can work it up just like that. And then once again, you're going to have to come in with the same block right here. Kind of work it like that. And then we'll kind of just work it a little bit more like here, and maybe kind of extend it like that. I don't think I want that dirt block in particular, but we can go like that, and then kind of just work our way up like this. And these guys are going to be slabs too. Just like that. I might want to place one more like that, maybe? Take a look. Kind of hard to see when it's getting darker out, you might say. Oh, and I forgot this part of the replay mod cinematic. F in the chat. I was so good at multitasking, and Cobb joined the game too. Man, is putting in work. Oh, and Pug. Wait. Cover me in debris? Oh. GG. I'm probably super late when it comes to that. But we're just gonna do a little bit more working just to find the last little bits of this path here, and that actually might be okay. Let's take a little bit back. Oh, I forgot Kitsy was online. But yeah, as you can tell, it'd be probably a little bit nice to have something different there. We actually might go in with mossy stone bricks, and then maybe a stone slab right there. Yeah. And then we'll probably place another block in here. I actually, yeah, might go mossy cobblestone there. Maybe place a mossy stone brick right there. Yeah. Okay, and it kind of leads you up like that. I'm okay with that. Actually, maybe we'll take this down one. Boom. And then I think I might want to bring that guy up too. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. So we can walk down here. Right? Kind of nice and smooth. Of course, we're going to have a lake over in this area. But it leads nicely up over to the other base. And then why don't we take another walk up through this way into the little bit more technical part. And I do think that I'm going to take that stone block right here. I think I want a little bit... I'm going to take out the andesite and... Oh, I messed up, then. Okay. Okay. Place it there. Actually, instead, and let me just... I don't want to compete with any voices that are more beautiful than mine. Why don't we do... We don't want too much moss there. But I don't have my mossy stone bricks. You see, sometimes it is up to the last couple of blocks that can really make all the difference in the world. We can come over here and place in some stone bricks, which we didn't really do over here, huh? That too much? Maybe andesite is... I can't tell. Actually, okay, I'm okay with that if we take the stone block right here and then we end up mixing in the cobblestone. And I think we actually might do a mossy stone brick right here. Yeah. And that really, now it doesn't stick out anymore, right? We can lead our way up. And just like that, we have started to expand our kingdom. What a wonderful stream, y'all. I think I really needed this. I have to get back to doing a little bit more work. It's been a little bit non-stop. And I think that sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had a little bit more time to get all the things that I want to in this world done. But sometimes the real world has to speak first. So until the next stream, hopefully we'll be able to sneak some other material collecting or other stuff before the build-in later this week. But that's gonna be it for your boy Slip tonight. If you've enjoyed hanging out, consider leaving a like on the video, and I will see you guys all incredibly soon.